What's cracking, big dogs? Welcome back to the HQ, aka the Mecca of Grit, aka the house built on big facts only, aka my bedroom. Today I got asked to come on to a podcast, the Father and Son Fantasy Football Podcast with Justin and Paul. So I was summoned and thou shalt appear. I jumped onto their podcast. I filmed the whole thing, and I'm going to put a screencast up in a second. Make sure that if you enjoyed, you obviously go subscribe to their channel on YouTube and subscribe to their podcast. They're a good time. Definitely good peoples. If you join me for, my analysis, my personality, you will enjoy their stuff. So that will all be linked down below. We got into a mock draft today. It was a 12-team, half-point PPR, I believe. I was picking from the number 2 spot, and I'm going to start collabing more with people, I think, this summer. I've been creeping into people's DMs. I also have Dr. Jesse Morse joining the show next week. He is a sports doctor. He's worked with the Blue Jays. He's worked with the Phillies organization, worked with different athletes and stuff. So we're going to have him on. He's going to talk about, I get a lot of questions about guys who are coming off injuries, whether they're going to bounce back, how it's going to affect them. So we're going to talk, Andrew Luck, Leonard Fournette, and those kind of guys. So you guys drop a comment down below. Let me know which players who were dealing with injuries last year or who you think are injury prone or something you want to hear about, and we will talk about it when he comes on the show. I'm sliding in some other DMs right now. Actually, wait, this is live. Andy Holloway of Fantasy Footballers just answered me. I'm trying to get him on the show. He said, hey man, I've actually caught a couple of your videos on YouTube before. It's good stuff. Lots of people try to do stuff. Not many can do it well, but you're one of those that seems to be doing it well. I'm like, damn, Andy, I asked you to get on the show though. You coming, or are you just gonna leave me hanging like that? All right, so maybe we got some really cool stuff in store for you guys in terms of guests. So I'm creeping into DMs. You guys need to hit these people up on Twitter and be like, come into the HQ, come into the Mecca of Grit, come into Big Facts. Onlyville. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get into the video now because I don't want to ramble anymore. So I'll see y'all at the end. Update. Andy's coming on the show. It's going to be a little different, though. We're going to talk the business side of fantasy football, the industry. We will get into some analysis, but at the heart and soul of me, my passion is the marketing, business, and the industry side of fantasy football, man. So they're the biggest brand in fantasy football right now. They know what they're doing more so than Roto World, more so than any of the companies that you think know what they're doing. I promise you that they do not, compared to these guys when it comes to social media and marketing and this stuff. And I'm super excited to have him on and talk about that with him. So stay tuned. That will be coming in the next few weeks.
All right, and today we are joined by Nick BDGE. Big Dogs Gotta Eat. What's going on, Nick?
What's up, Nick?
What's going on, fellas? I'm happy to be on the podcast. I actually think this might be the first podcast appearance I've made in the fantasy football niche.
Wow, we're the first ones then. Awesome.
Good to hear.
Better make it
we're
good.
excited. We're going to do a half PPR mock draft today. We're doing roster settings of 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end, and 1 flex spot. No kicker, no defense, and we're doing 6 bench spots. So 13 rounds. Can give you our thoughts on each pick and what we're thinking in our head whenever we make that pick. And yeah, it should be fun. So we're taking a break from our divisional previews and we're doing a mock draft because we have the one and only Nick on. And you guys know where to check him out. YouTube, he's everywhere. I mean, really big on YouTube. Go check his channel out. Just really type in Nick BDG. You guys, you probably already know who they are. He is better than us. But he's also got a podcast on the podcast store now.
Nice.
He's up there. And then Twitter. What's your Twitter, Nick?
I believe the Twitter is just Nick_BDGE.
There you go. Yeah, Nick_BDG. Go follow him.
You guys go check him out.
All right.
We're happy to have him on the show today.
Yeah, so Nick's in the 2 spot, Dad's in the 6 spot, and I'm in the 11th spot. So we're really spaced out, and it should be fun. So I guess we're going to get this thing underway. Let's start this draft. All right. So Le'Veon Bell went off the board first. Nick, you're on the clock. You got it.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I was kind of telling you I had this two running back tier in my head, and I was glad that they took Bell and not Gurley because my tier up top is actually Bell and then Zeke. So Zeke is my number 2 guy here.
There you go.
Nice.
Zeke's my number 1 guy.
Okay.
So there.
Interesting.
I like that pick. All right. After you picked your guy Zeke, who went? Kamara went 3rd. Wow.
Kamara went 3rd. Wow,
Gurley
that's a
and then
surprise.
David Johnson. So Dad, you're sitting here. Who's on the board?
I'm in a tough spot. I got Antonio Brown. I really like Saquon Barkley. DeAndre Hopkins. You got to take Brown in his spot, but I hate to give up Barkley right there. I was going to start with a running back, but I thought Brown would go 5th, so I'm going to take Antonio Brown right here.
Let me ask you, Justin. You said you have Zeke at number 1. Why? Why is that?
Dude, the dude is going to get fed the ball. You say Big Dog's got to eat. This guy is going to eat He's going to get, I think, 400 carries is in the realm of possibilities. They told him to prepare his body for this big workload, and the Cowboys are the opposite of what the NFL is going to. They don't want to pass all around. They just want to run the ball.
Yep.
Offensive line's back healthy. I can see him having more rush attempts than Dak Prescott has pass attempts this year. And he's going to touch the ball. He's getting more involved with his receiver last year. So full 16 games, I could see him being running back number one, and then no running back went number one in PPR. I've repeated back-to-back number one seasons in like 14 years, I think it is.
His prediction was Zeke's going to lead the league in carries.
Easy.
Oh yeah, I think that's the easy money bet. I would be shocked if he didn't lead the team and lead the league in rushing touchdowns. I mean, I think he's played in 25 career games and he scored 24 touchdowns, or it's 26 and 25, one of the two. So he's guaranteed a touchdown a game. Outside of like that Denver game he had last year, he was over 115 total yards and or a touchdown. And every week, the volume floor is just so high. And I think sometimes people overestimate like the number of catches being such an impact. Now it is a big impact when you're talking about a guy like Bell who might put up like 80, but the difference between Zeke catching 45 and Gurley catching 60. Think of that as 15 catches. What is that? 7.5 fantasy points in reality. You know what I mean? What he doesn't get through the air, he'll make up for through the extra 100 carries and the extra 4 or 5 rushing touchdowns. You know?
Yeah, it's I agree with that. There. I could see 2,000 yards rushing and 20 touchdowns. That's not out of realm of possibilities this year.
No, not at all.
So my dad took Antonio Brown. Following him went Leonard Fournette, Saquon Barkley, DeAndre Hopkins, and Odell Beckham. So I'm at this 11 spot, and there's a couple of guys I'm looking at here. I like Melvin Gordon. I like Kareem Hunt. The wide receivers, Julio Jones is there. Michael Thomas. One of them is going to fall back to me. I have a pick and 2 picks. So I'm going to take Dalvin Cook right here. This dude had, I believe it was like 64 of 74 carries out of the backfield in Minnesota before he got hurt.
He was off to an unbelievable start until he got hurt.
Yeah, and then we're going to talk about it in the next episode We're doing a divisional previews, NFC North, with the Vikings and the Lions, and Kirk Cousins has the second highest passer rating in the NFL when throwing to running backs behind Matt Ryan. And this guy can catch the ball, get you those half PPR points, and he's just going to get the volume there.
So you're not worried about Dalvin Cook getting the goal line carries, or Latavius Murray, I'm saying, taking it from him?
That could be a possibility, but I think the volume that he's going to get minus the goal line. I mean, Latavius Murray, they probably use him to get to the 2 or 3 yard line, but if Dalvin Cook shows that he can handle the goal line carries, I think they're going to keep giving him the ball.
Yeah.
All right, so following me with Melvin Gordon and Keenan Allen, I'm back on the clock, and Kareem Hunt's there, Devonta Freeman's there. And there's a little bit of tear drop off running back besides Kareem Hunt. I'm not that high on Kareem Hunt this year. And then Julio Jones, Michael Thomas, Devontae Adams is available. I'm going to take a guy. I mean, Julio Jones seems like the obvious pick here, but, I mean, something's been turning in my head. I'm going to take Devontae Adams right here in the half PPR league. I think he can lead the league in touchdowns for receivers this year. He's Aaron Rodgers is number 1. Nelson's gone. He's never had over 130 targets in the season. That changes this year. And he's never broken 1,000 yards. That also changes this year. And
you bet me on that, right?
I did bet you that he'd
You bet me that Michael Thomas would have more fantasy points than Devontae Adams.
You will.
You're crazy.
I'm just taking.
Why'd you take him right there?
Who took what side?
I took Devontae Adams. Justin took Michael Thomas. So now he just took my man, and this guy went 3 picks later. So explain that to me, please.
Hey, new information, stuff changes.
All right,
half PPR
I agree with you.
I'm taking a touchdown upside.
Okay.
You have Aaron Rodgers throwing you the ball.
You can't go wrong with either one of them. I'm just talking about our bet we made.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite part about doing YouTube videos, because anytime I put a piece of analysis out there, I make a hot take or something. If these people are watching me like I'm their dog, and they just put them a leash in front of the store or something so I don't run away. As soon as I contradict anything I say, boom, I have 15 comments right away. Like, that's not what you said last episode. I'm like, guys, listen, I got new analysis. I read a new blog post. I breathed a new breath. Like, something happened. Let me change, my mindset a little bit.
Well, your opinions are always going to change too as it gets closer and closer to the season, especially when preseason starts.
Yeah, I have Michael Thomas, my wide receiver, 5, and then Adams at my number 6. But this draft, I'm just doing something a little different. It's a mock draft. I'm going to try to see how my team looks with Devontae Adams. Like, again, Aaron Rodgers can thread like a needle through, or pin through it, or that was just a thread through a needle. That's the saying.
There you go.
And so following Devontae Adams with Kareem Hunt, then Julio Jones, then Michael Thomas, and Devonta Freeman. Dad, you're up.
I'm in a tough spot here again, because I always go running back heavy in the beginning. Now I got Antonio Brown. I got AJ Green staring at me. I got McKinnon, who I think is going to be a beast in San Fran. He hasn't proven it yet, but I think he's going to have a good year. Christian McCaffrey, who's a PPR stud. Oh, man, I can't leave AJ Green there.
Wow.
This is odd for me not to take a running back, but
That's the tough spot. That's why I'm almost.
I don't think I like 6, but
No.
Just 'cause of
I am going to do something out of it. I'm taking AJ Green. I got to.
Interesting.
It's 2 wide receivers right off the bat.
Disgusting.
I can't leave him there.
Following you and
Gross.
Christian McCaffrey, Jordan Howard. Usually, he's a great value this year because he falls to the 3rd round. And then Doug Baldwin, a guy I love this year. So Nick, you're back up.
Yeah, interesting.
What are you looking at?
Interesting that Howard went that high. Yeah, so Paul, like that's such a tough spot. I hate to do it, but I'm starting to come around more to the fact that I don't think even though I know Antonio Brown is the play, I don't think I'm going to take him at the 5 or 6 hole. I think I'm going to take a running back.
You need to get running backs in there is what I believe, because they get lower and lower as you get going. So if you don't get a stud running back in there, which I didn't right now, so we're going to have to see what falls back to me.
Yeah. So now
never take wide receiver back to back right there.
Yeah. So
now we're going to see what kind of running backs I get.
Yep, that's the thing. So when I'm looking at the board right now, the only value I see, I do expect once we start seeing more Andrew Luck reports coming out about him throwing, about him being healthy, and maybe even a video of him throwing a real size football, we're going to see T.Y. Hilton probably landing around this spot in the Doug Baldwin, 20 to 25 range, I think, because he was going around pick 15 to 20 last year. But right now, when you're looking at the board, I think the only value is really at running back. And for me, it's between the top 2 guys there, McKinnon and Mixon. And I actually think Gronk, I seem to be in the minority here. And I thought I was going to be in the majority about me liking Gronk in like the late 2nd round. But it seems like a lot of people are kind of off him this year. And I'm not really sure why, because I think he's a full tier ahead of the other tight ends. He doesn't, he has the health question mark, of course. But if he's healthy, he's putting up absurd numbers. And it's not even close. Like on a touchdown per game basis, he's almost double what Zach Ertz or Travis Kelce do in their careers. So I like Gronk here, but it's almost, again, the same principle with Antonio Brown, where it's like, if you take Gronk here, you kind of put yourself in a bad position later on in the draft because you didn't grab the skill positions early on.
So Nick, back where I was in that 1st round when I took Brown, should I have taken Barkley right there?
Yes. It's tough. It's really tough, but I probably would have gone Barkley, even though, in a vacuum, you want Brown, but just because because we've done enough mock drafts this year that how your draft is probably going to end if you don't go with the running back early,
Yep, correct.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with McKinnon here.
I like that.
I like McKinnon there.
Yeah, I'm a fan of McKinnon here.
Just like where I was, it was either Green or McKinnon. I couldn't leave Green.
Right, yeah, and that's the thing too, because then you feel like you're forced to take a running back there, but there's not value because you're like reaching for a back. And that's what is tough. So I actually hate that Mike Evans pick right before me. I'm not gonna yell. I'm not gonna yell at the computer because he can't hear me. But if it was a person, we'd have problems. Let's see.
He's got the inside source.
Yeah.
Your guy Gronk, you're just talking about, is available in the 3rd round still.
Yeah.
So Mixon went and then Evans went.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen Mixon fall to me. And I'm almost gonna pull something crazy here, but I don't think I'm gonna do it.
Just fell down.
Let's go with. I'm gonna go with Gronk here. I'm gonna stick to my word. I just really think he's ahead, a full tier above the other guys. And I know a lot of people like Kelce as much as they like Gronk or Ertz as much as they do, but when Gronk is healthy, man, he is an absolute league winner.
Yeah, he gives you that positional advantage every single week. I find myself every year not liking him in mock drafts, but whenever the real drafts come, I've had him the last 2 years, and I don't know if I like it or not, but I get him at the value. You just got him. I got him last year, early 4th round. How can I pass that up?
Yeah, and it's crazy because for a good 5 or 6 year stretch, we saw him going in the top 10, and I would never have paid that price. But over the last few years, he's just been dropping and dropping, but his per game production has been exactly the same.
Yeah. Yes. I think Kelce may finish above him this year, which is tough to say. It's not just because I don't think Gronk's going to give you those weekly points. I just think that the injury risk for Gronk is way higher than Kelce. He's gotten injured, I think, 12 times in the past 3 years.
Yeah.
12 games in.
Sense.
What was it? Kelce, they added in Sammy Watkins, new quarterback. So I think that who's going to be guarding Kelce? That's the question. A middle linebacker and nickel packages. I don't know. So, Dad, you're up. Following the Rob Gronkowski pick went LaShawn McCoy, Aaron Rodgers, and Tyreek Hill. I hate Tyreek Hill. Why did he just go that way?
I do not like this pick because now I got Derrick Henry, who I'd rather have Deion Lewis there. I got T.Y. Hilton there. It all depends if Luck comes back. I love T.Y. Hilton. Thielen's there. I think Diggs is going to have a better year
Luck's
there.
coming back, so.
Well, I know. You got Geis. You got rookie running back right there, Geis. You got Penny. I'm in another tough spot here.
The other day, my dad was saying, "Oh, I love the middle round picks. I think I really want the 6th or 7th pick." And here he is.
It's not working out this time.
Every draft's different.
I got to take a running back here. I'm going to take Geis. I'm going to leave Hilton there, which I already have 2 stud wide receivers. I got to start getting a running back, or I'm going to be in trouble.
The man, the myth, the legend, Josh Gordon and Derrick Henry. T.Y. Hilton, this guy has 3 wide receivers. And then Travis Kelce went. So I'm back up, and my boy's on the board. So
I know who you're going to take.
Do you know who my guy is? I don't know if you.
I don't know for sure, but I feel like I do.
All right. It's a wide receiver.
From the Minnesota Vikings.
It's not running back.
And he's not named Adam Thielen.
Which one?
And he's not named Adam Thielen.
Yeah, I love Stephon Diggs this year. I don't care if I already had Dalvin Cook. That offense is going to be efficient. Mm-hmm. They're going to get their points. So, like, right here, I'm looking at other guys on the board. Thielen, Amari Cooper, Juju Smith-Schuster, Fitzgerald, who's consistent. But Diggs, man.
Contract
year. I can't not take Stephon Diggs. Following me went Adam Thielen, Rashad Penny. I'm back up again, and running backs available. Jay Ajayi, Alex Collins, Kenyon Drake. It's all crap. So I'm going to go to wide receiver again, and a guy who I think can lead the league in targets this year. Amari Cooper is on the board here, and he had a really bad year last year. The whole offense had a bad year last year. I think this year John Gruden is head coach, and people are like, oh, that's scary. But 9 out of 11 seasons when John Gruden was head coach, his wide receiver 1 has finished with 1,000 yards or more. The average wide receiver finish in PPR was wide receiver 13. They brought in Greg Olsen, not the tight end, the offensive coordinator, as their offensive coordinator, and his wide receiver 1 averaged a target share of like 20 to 24%. I think Cooper's going to have the volume. Crabtree's gone. That opens up 25% of the red zone targets that were there last year. So I think even if his catch rate is poor, he's going to have the volume to succeed in this offense. And he's one of 3 wide receivers to have over 70 catches and 1,000 yards in his first 2 seasons. That talent's still there. People are forgetting about that. And they upgraded their offensive line in the draft. So, I mean, there's already top 10, so now it's the top 5? I don't know. So I'm all in on Cooper this year. What are your thoughts about Cooper this year, Nick?
I'm not as optimistic as you. I feel like it's time as football fans that maybe we come around to the reality that he's not Antonio Brown. But to your point, I think that like by default, the volume is going to be there. So he's going to be a good play in the 4th round. I also think there's all these rumors about the Martavis Bryant suspension. We've heard, I think it's come up 2 or 3 times already. So the fact that I'm of the belief that he will get suspended soon. I'm not sure like when it's going to happen or for how long it's going to be, but if he does, it's going to be a long time. And that really just puts Amari Cooper at the forefront of this offense. I know they were saying, it was going to happen, but it makes you a lot more comfortable drafting Amari Cooper if Martavis is out of there because the volumes are going to siphon his way. But he's just someone who struggled so much near the end zone. He struggled with like contested catches. Derek Carr did not look good last year, and who knows what's going to happen. You know what's funny? Like when they signed John Gruden, and maybe this is just like my millennials speak talking, and you see all these like memes about John Gruden stuff. Like I don't know how the young players in the NFL can step into an NFL camp and take John Gruden seriously. Like I would start laughing. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't take him seriously. He's something. I don't know what he's doing with his franchise. I don't think he's making the right GM moves, and I don't know. But it's John Gruden, so Spider 2 White Banana is going to be happening.
Yeah, exactly.
So following my Amari Cooper pick went Jay Ajayi, Zach Ertz, Alex Collins, Larry Fitzgerald. Dad, who are you looking at here?
I was hoping Fitzgerald would follow me right there.
Oh, well, I'm sorry.
So now I don't know.
Wow, you got the sounds right on deck, huh?
You got the sounds, yes,
I got
you do.
on deck. I'm trying to have like you open, the mock draft open, the soundboard open. It's on a MacBook. It's not easy. But
I like that.
I like Thomas here. I like Robinson here. I'm gonna have to take another wide receiver. I can't believe
this.
There's
a guy pondering his thoughts right here.
I'm going to take Demaryius Thomas. I mean, since Manning retired, he's been doing nothing but going backwards. So Case Keenum's coming in there. I like his upside this year. I think Keenum can make him back to a wide receiver 1. I'm going to take a chance and take Demaryius Thomas.
Chance? This guy's consistent. What do you mean chance?
Well, I said, he hasn't had a quarterback since Manning left, so he's going to move up the ranks.
I'm surprised as your wide receiver 3, you took him over a guy with upside like Allen Robinson. But hey, Alshon Jeffrey followed you, then Allen Robinson, then Deshaun Watson went. Nick, you were back up.
I'm so happy, I got to say, because the only receiver I wanted out of this bunch was Juju, and he fell to me.
Juju
Juju is my boy this year, and I want nothing to do with DT, Alshon, or Allen Robinson. If I'm being honest, I don't know. Alshon, I mean, he hasn't put up like a real good fantasy year since like 2013 or 14. Allen Robinson hasn't played a good NFL game in 2 or 3 years. He's gonna have to learn the new offense. I just think there's a lot of red flags with those guys. I also think DT's fall off is going to be pretty sharp. He's one of those guys that's always kind of relied on his size speed combination. He's not really a good separator, and I feel like when those start falling off, and I've looked at some of the numbers in terms of like game speed from airyards.com, like NFL Next Gen Stats and things like that, and he's kind of starting to decline athletically in terms of like his physical traits, and I think that's going to take a pretty sharp fall off. And I actually prefer Sanders to DT this year in Denver. Almost straight up value, even obviously by an ADP value because they're like 4 rounds apart. But I would almost be willing to take a bet on Sanders finishing with more points. So I was kind of happy I didn't have to choose between those receivers, and I'm a fan of Juju, so I'm gonna go with JJSS here.
J squared S squared.
Yes, I don't know.
There's big talk in Pittsburgh on the rookie too.
Yeah, James Washington. He's
the whole offense is going to be good. So
it's gonna be a good offense. And I mean, Juju was the real deal last year, man. He broke out, and I feel like he was so young and so raw. He was like 20 years old. He just turned 21. Great contested catches. They used him to like perfection just in that like flanker slot role. And I thought the James Washington signing was great for him because that means he doesn't have to play on the outside because his strength is finding the zones over the middle. It's not beating press and man coverage. So I expect a lot of the same production that we saw from Juju last year. But this time, he's going to get a full season to do it where he wasn't really involved in the offense for the first half. As soon as they started using him correctly, you saw his numbers blow up. And if we get even like 80% of the type of production that we saw from him over the second half of last year, we're going to see top 16, top 15 numbers from Juju. So obviously you're not loving him as your wide receiver one, but I'm happy with it after my first 3 picks.
Yeah. Only one thing that people say against Juju, like I love Juju this year too, but like his production was heavily inflated because Brown was out the last 2 games, which I think you saw like 35% of his production. But regardless, the guy's a talent.
Yeah, he was still good for the whole year.
Yeah, Big Ben's never like historically supported 2 top 24 wide receivers, but he's never had a guy like Juju. So I mean, and if anything does happen to Antonio Brown, watch out.
Yeah, I've heard that argument too, and I actually dove into the numbers and I looked, and it was like the last 7 games is where Juju exploded. Antonio Brown missed 2 of them. I looked at the splits between the 5 versus 2 games, and they were not significant whatsoever. It was almost 5 yards, 0.35 catches, and maybe like 0.1 touchdowns or something like that. I think it was people get the assumption because Juju did have one monster game when Brown was out, but he was super, super productive in those 5 games when Brown was in there too. Because I heard a lot of kickback with that point, but I dove in a little deeper and realized that it really wasn't because of Brown being absent.
Who follows your pick, and what are you up to now? I'm gonna look up this split with Brown.
Okay,
but just to verify your numbers, I know you're.
Kenyon Drake went, and then my boy Jimmy Graham went.
Ooh, Jimmy Graham. Okay, so I'm at the turn. Just give me a sec to look over the flex spots here. Okay, so how many? We have 1 flex, right?
Yes. Yeah, 1 flex.
Okay. So right now I'm going to be deciding probably between Sony Michel and Lamar Miller, the 2 running backs on the board. Not really in a rush to jump at wide receiver because I think these 2 running backs are pretty valuable and I could get them in the starting spot. I'm going to go with Lamar Miller. And I think this is a pick dependent on like the team that I have made up so far because had I needed more upside at running back, I might have gone with Michelle, but I don't think I need that considering I have Zeke and McKinnon already. So I think Lamar Miller is a pretty safe floor play considering Foreman is coming back from the Achilles. So there's a pretty high chance he ends up on the PUP list, misses the first 6 weeks, and thus, Miller's going to be the workhorse. Whether you like him or not, volume is the name of the game in redraft leagues.
Yep, that's correct. It's all about the volume.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then Deion Lewis went, Chris Hogan went, Marvin Jones went. Now that leaves me with 3 wide receivers and a running back. Sony Michel is there. Royce Freeman's there. I really like Royce Freeman. Sony Michel's got talent, but who knows in New England's backfield. I say that because last year I had Gilsley in the first week. He scored 3 touchdowns. I was so happy, and then nothing the rest of the year. I just don't trust New England. Could they go to one back? He fumbles once. What's he going to do? Drop him? I mean, I'm going to take Royce Freeman right here. The upside in Denver.
My dad's guy this year. He loves Royce Freeman.
Who's going to challenge him? Booker? Booker couldn't even get the starting job last year.
All right. Following you went Greg Olson, Tony Michelle, Tom Brady, Mark Ingram. I'm sitting here with my flex spot full, and I like Mark Cooper as my flex spot too, because it's like that upside win you weeks. Running backs available: Ronald Jones, Marshawn Lynch, Marlon Mack. It's not really looking that good right now for running backs, but Evan Ingram's on the board. It is the end of the 5th round. I don't know if I'm looking to go tight end early. It's Brandon Cooks, another wide receiver I can go. I mean, I don't think I'm taking wide receiver here. I think I'm gonna change it up a little bit, and let's take Evan Ingram. I like Evan Ingram this year. I think Pat Schumer, like tight ends, he has success with. So why not take him as I think he's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tight end off the board. I'm okay with that. Following me went Golden Tate, Brandon Cooks. I am now back up, and I already have 3 wide receivers. I may punt this running back position and wait till the end of the next round to get a couple of guys I'm looking at later, such as I like C.J. Anderson, Rex Burkhead. But Ronald Jones is going to have – I'm going to take Ronald Jones at this point right here. I think that there's little competition in this backfield. I think Peyton Barber's there who can steal some goal line touches, but, I mean, they drafted him in the 2nd round. Winston's gone for the first 3 weeks actually, so he can get some volume, but I don't see many people – like contesting him for the job. So volume is key, like you said in redraft. I think he's gonna have the volume this year. So following me went Will Fuller, Tevin Coleman, and Marshawn Lynch and Carson Wentz. Dad, you're up. What are you looking at?
Right now, Sammy Watkins is staring at me in the face.
You have how many wide receivers right now?
I don't do. They paid him $50 million for who am I got for running back? You got Mack, Cohen, who is going to get his points in PPR. I'm sorry, I can't leave Sammy Watkins on the board. I know this is going to be dumb, but we're going to see what running backs. I'm taking Sammy Watkins.
Wow. All right.
I got that's unlike me right there, but we're going to see what I end up with.
What's your thoughts about Sammy Watkins, Nick?
No, I actually I like the Sammy Watkins pick, to be honest with you.
I love Sammy Watkins this year. I have him as my wide receiver 18.
Really?
I'm really high. Yeah, I'm really high on. They paid him, and I mean Tyreek Hill's never been really a target guy, so I think.
Yeah, I'm with you.
The guy
we got to see what Mahomes does. No one knows a lot about Mahomes. He's only started 1 game. There's big hype on him right now.
Even if he's half the guy like be expecting to be, he's going to get the ball.
They paid him $50 million.
Yeah.
Well, I know, I understand, but there's so much hype on him right now.
I feel like you got to be a little crazy. I feel like Watkins and Hill at the end of the year are going to end up with pretty similar numbers overall. And the fact that you have to take Hill, 4 rounds ahead of Watkins, or 3 rounds, 4 rounds ahead of Watkins is, I don't know. It makes no sense to me. So Hill's super overvalued in my opinion. And I have Watkins probably at wide receiver, maybe 22 or 23 in my rankings.
That's nice.
Let's see. Yeah. So I feel like there's a pretty big drop off in terms of tiers for the running backs now. It's a lot of these scat backs or guys in full committees. So I'm glad I got the 3 running backs early, and that's why I like going with the running backs early, because I feel like now getting wide receivers later in the draft is not as hard. So I'm going to go with Corey Davis here. So someone who I just
and there's a lot of value at wide receiver in these middle rounds right here too.
Exactly. So Corey Davis is a guy that I just put out some content on him as one of my mid-round players with the highest upside, and I guess there's not a lot of volume to be transferred his way, but he came into the year with a hamstring injury, and then he re-injured it. He missed a lot of the season. But I was looking at numbers from Matt Harmon's reception perception, and all the routes looked clean. His game speed looked good. There was nothing off about it. It was just a down year for the offense as a whole. We saw Mariota's touchdown numbers go down to 2.9% on his touchdown rate. And Davis, the interesting thing was in the games he was active, he had over a 20% target share. And I was looking at top 15 wide receivers last year, fantasy wide receivers, and 5 of the top 15 had 21% or less of a target share. So Davis, as long as he gets he doesn't need 26, 20, an elite target share to put up, top 15 fantasy wide receiver numbers. So I'm okay with Davis there as not really a gamble because you're not paying too high of a price, but the upside's there. So I'm cool with that.
Yeah. Measure wide receiver 2. That's a great upside.
The upside's definitely there.
Yeah. And then I'm actually, interestingly enough, going to go with another Tennessee pass catcher in Delaney Walker.
Wow. 2 tight ends. What's your strategy right there? Having 2 top, like, 8 tight ends.
You know what? I actually didn't even realize I had a first tight end. That's what just happened. I didn't realize I had Gronk there. Wow. Okay.
Well, you got 2 good ones there, though.
Yeah, I did.
No, we got this. We got this.
Wait, we can go back.
We're gonna go back. We're gonna go pretend that never happened.
You got a rewind button on deck?
Yeah, hit it up.
Okay.
We gotta go back.
Wow, things not to do.
Yeah. Okay, Nick, you're up again.
Awesome. All right, so this is a tough decision for me. I haven't put any thought into this one yet.
Draft day tip: know who you have. No.
Yeah, exactly. When we get to the section at the end of the draft, when you're asking me things not to do, we already figured it out. So I'm probably deciding between 2 guys here, and it would be Rex Burkhead and Emmanuel Sanders for me.
All right.
And I'm probably going to go with Sanders because I'm going to need more depth at wide receiver, considering I waited more in the draft. And Sanders is just a guy.
Now Burkhead might follow me.
Yeah, he will. Enjoy.
Emmanuel Sanders as a wide receiver 3, consistent upside with him with Case Keenum. That's the correct answer. Sound effect. We got all the sound effects.
I feel like I need to incorporate some of those in mine.
They're pretty fun.
Send me over that soundboard.
Yeah, I'll link it to you later. All right, following you and Jamal Williams, then Delaney Walker. How's he still on the board? Kyle Rudolph, and then Dad, you are up.
Steal.
You do not have a tight end.
No, it doesn't matter. Thank you, Nick. I am taking Rex Burkhead right here.
Enjoy, Flexi. Enjoy, Flexi Burkhead.
You got it.
I like Rex Burkhead. I think he's great this year. Tariq Cohen went, Michael Crabtree, Kerryon Johnson, Cam Newton. None of us have a quarterback yet, and I don't want to take one right here. I could go with the DraftKings triple stack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 quarterbacks off the board. You know what? I'm gonna take quarterback here. I don't usually take quarterbacks right here.
Sorry.
Yeah, phone call. You're good.
My friends call me during my videos all the time. It's such a problem.
Kirk Cousins, I took him as an 8th quarterback off the board. Trey Burton and Jimmy Garoppolo went, so I didn't even lose anything right there taking a quarterback because there's still running backs and wide receivers on the board. A guy I'm going to take here, I'm looking at C.J. Anderson. That's really it for my running back. There's a wide receiver here I love, but I'm not going to reach and take Jameson Crowder right now. Actually, 8th round, I'm taking Jameson Crowder. I think he's going to get over 100 targets this year. He's going to have that connection with Alex Smith in the slot, short passes in the middle with some good separation he provides. And Carlos Hyde followed me, then Devin Funchess, then Isaiah Crowell, Pierre Garçon. Dad, you're up. You just took Rex Burkhead last round.
So you like Crowder there in Washington? I'm like, I feel like I need to dive into the Redskins receiving core more, but I'm hesitant. I think it's a subconscious thing. I don't want to do it because I know it's going to take me like forever to come out with an opinion, and I don't want to know the opinion on the Redskins. I'd rather just avoid them altogether.
I think they're actually one of the underrated passing offenses this year. Like, I think all of them could have value. Alex Smith's going to be like outperform his ADP of like quarterback 21, I think, which isn't that hard to do. I think that Doxson can provide some like best ball upside. I'm not taking him in redraft. And then let's see, Jameson Crowder. I can convince you real quick with a little elevator pitch.
Okay.
All right.
Wait, before you do that, I got to run and grab a water bottle real quick. Give me 2 seconds.
You're good. I'll find his stats. Cool. All right, Dad, you're up. Who'd you take? Who'd you take? Who just went on the board? Let's do a little roster review. Dad, read up the rosters. Let's start with Nick's.
Nick's pick was. Hang on, I got to go back. Emmanuel Sanders. That what you're talking about? That right start right there?
Every single pick like he had so far. You can go to that. Nick, let's start with the roster reviews.
Oh, Nick took Ezekiel Elliott. Then he took Jerick McKinnon. Then he took Rob Gronkowski. Then Juju Smith, Lamar Miller, Corey Davis, and Emmanuel Sanders.
All right, who do you have?
I have Antonio Brown, A.J. Green, Darius Geis, Demaryius Thomas, Royce Freeman, Sammy Watkins, Rex Burkhead. And then you got Dalvin Cook, Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs, Amari Cooper, Evan Ingram, Ronald Jones, Kirk Cousins, and Jamison Crowder. And now I'm up. And boy, I got CJ Anderson looking at me, and I need a tight end. I should take Jordan Reed right there, the upside, if he can stay healthy. Um, that's a tough spot right there, too. Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb, they all could have some good value right there. 1, 2, 3. I am going to take CJ Anderson. I love it. I'm going to take CJ Anderson right there.
There you go. All right, CJ Anderson off the board.
Running backs are starting to get scarce, so.
Yeah.
Following went Jordy Nelson, Aaron Jones, Marquise Goodwin, Nick's back up.
Yeah.
3 wide receivers, 3 running backs, tight end.
Yeah, so now is when I'm like, this is when I look back on the drafts, and it always seems good at the time, the picks I make, but when I was at that third pick, when I was deciding between Gronk and I was like, oh, I might do something crazy here, I was thinking about taking Stephon Diggs there at the third turn, and now I kind of wish I did, so I would have had him and Juju paired together as my wide receiver 1, 2, and then where I accidentally took Delaney, I would have actually taken him, and I think the squad would have been a little more well-rounded there. But that's my only hesitation with taking a guy like Gronk or a tight end that early is you leave yourself a little vulnerable at the skill positions.
Yeah, that's why I don't think I'm going to do it this year. Every year I get to the draft and he's there sitting at a great value is tempting, but I've been done it the last 2 years and I don't like it.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so let's see what we got going on here.
A little tout piece on Crowder. So
let's hear it.
It's the longest tenured wide receiver on that roster. It's his 4th season, and his first 3 seasons, he had 2015 was 78 targets, then he had 99, and then he had 103 last year while being injured to hamstring. He's fully healthy. He's seen his targets increase each year. You got Jay Gruden as an head coach, and his average of the wide receiver 1 in an offense, which I think is Crowder because he's the longest tenure, is like 17.3 or 20% target share. And they're going to have more passing volume this year because their defense is not good, and he creates that separation. He's in the slot. So I think everything's lining up for him. He's currently going as the wide receiver 33 off the boards, like average of I think the 7th round, when I think he can easily outproduce that draft cost and possibly be top 25. If he has 5 touchdowns, I think you get him at like 25th with that kind of target share. And I think if he gets anywhere from 6 to 7, he's top 23. I don't know how that works, but I think the consistent production is there and his targets are increasing each year. So as the wide receiver 33 in drafts, I don't think you can do much worse than that.
Yeah, I hear you. My only thing is like, I don't know, with Crowder, he just never really gets me excited because he could very well outproduce that and end up as wide receiver 28. But him getting there is just going to be a bunch of games where he probably doesn't really produce much, and it's not really a guy I don't know. I guess like you have him as your wide receiver 4, so it's not really a big deal. But I'm not someone I definitely wouldn't be reaching for a Crowder. I'm just. With the new quarterback, like you said, like Alex Smith coming in, you don't know who he's going to end up gaining chemistry with. It could end up being that like Paul Richardson leads the team in targets. And, every year crazy things happen in fantasy football and they surprise us. And that wouldn't be one that really took me by a big surprise. But I don't know.
That's why it's a love-hate relationship, fantasy football.
Exactly. Mostly hate. But
yes.
I'm going to go with Randall Cobb here.
That's a good pick right there.
Yeah, so I was looking at some numbers with Cobb, and he's another guy where when you dive into the numbers, his reception perception by Matt Harmon, this was his previous year, 2017 was actually his best year since that breakout in 2014. He had like a 75% success rate versus man press coverage. His zone success rate was like 80-something%, which was like top 10 in the league also. And what's interesting is, so I was looking at the splits with him and Aaron Rodgers, or Aaron Rodgers played 7 games last year, right? Cobb missed one of those games. He was out. And then the 7th game, Rodgers ended up leaving with the injury. So he only completed 2 passes. So I discounted, obviously, the one Cobb wasn't there and the one Rodgers left after 2 games. And when I broke down the splits in just those 5 games, Cobb's per game numbers would have paced out to like 140 targets. I think it was 88 catches, 998 yards, and 8 or 9 touchdowns. Like those are just the games of Aaron Rodgers. So I was looking at it and I'm like, it doesn't really seem like there was any fall off. It just seemed like that, obviously, because Hundley was in the game and Adams took over as the 1. But Cobb, his explosiveness, his ability to separate and get into those zones and still put up numbers with Rodgers in the lineup were still completely evident in his game last year. So I think he's going underdrafted, very undervalued in leagues here.
Yeah, I agree. Rodgers historically supports two top 24 wide receivers. Nelson's gone, and he's been a top 24 wide receiver before, and he was on his way to posting wide receiver 2 numbers last year before Rodgers got hurt, but he was still top 35 in PPR leagues.
Yeah.
There's good news in Green Bay, too. He's out of the walking boot.
Yep.
So I like that pick right there.
Yeah,
And
I'm interested to see what happens with the wide receiver 3 role. I mean, everyone kind of assumes it's going to be Allison, but I really think they took all these receivers just like to make it a real camp battle, and I'm interested.
I think it's going to be Jamon Moore. I love Jamon Moore. The dude has like his measurables are insane. He ran a slow 40 at the combine, but I think that's because he didn't try. Like, it doesn't match up with his other like athletic scores.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Moore too.
Following that, pick of Randall Cobb and Chris Thompson and Alan Hearns. We got 5 rounds left, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep.
Hearns would have been my guy there, I think, too.
I like Hearns as a value this year.
Yeah. All right. So now I'm looking at the backs. Man, there's really not a lot of value at running back right now. I'm glad I took him early. I'm probably gonna go with another wide receiver here to keep padding the depth. I actually have Cooper Kupp ranked above Robert Woods, but I might want to take a higher upside guy like Devontae Parker.
There you go.
That's a good pick.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Parker here because, again, I like if I'm waiting on the wide receivers, you might as well take a few with those big upsides. And with Jarvis Landry, I know, we say it every year. It's the same thing. It's like it's 4th year. Same thing with Crowder. Same thing with a lot of guys, right? Wide receivers just get that. They just get the leeway of getting so many years to progress because it's a natural progression. It takes them years to kind of blow up. But if it doesn't happen this year, of course, it's just not going to happen for Parker because there is the opportunity there. So,
yeah, the big target void is Landry is gone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how quality those targets are going to be because it's coming from Tannehill, but volume.
That's it.
Every year he gets touted, and this is Dolphins camp. They always tout all their players, but we can hope this is the year. It's also a contract year too, so. Ty Montgomery followed you, then Jordan Reed, then Nick Chubb. We love us some Chubb. Chubby. Dad, what are you looking at here?
I really need a tight end right here, but I let him go. I waited too late on the tight end.
You need a lot of things. So
you look at my team. Look at my team. When I started out with them wide receivers, I was a little antsy about running backs, but I'm pretty happy with the running backs I got.
They turned out well. You can get some good value at rookie running backs this year, man.
I had to take C.J. Anderson where I did, or I would not have had a running back at this pick. So I had to do that there.
My running backs are hurting.
So, okay, what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to take Stafford right here. I like Stafford this year. The volume is going to be there. They got a better offensive line this year.
Yeah, Stafford W as that quarterback is crazy.
Yeah, I'll take Stafford in the 9th round.
Mr. getting arrested all the time. Then DJ Moore. Then Robert Woods. Then Matty Ice, who I don't like this year. The guy is Cam Newton and Matty Ice. So I'm up here. I need a running back. I don't even care. I'm looking on the board. Duke Johnson, pass catching secured. Corey Clement, if an injury happens, he's going to be good. We're in the 9th round. There's not many running backs I like. I'm not going to lie. Getting slim picks.
But you only got 2. You better grab something.
There's some pass catching backs I like later in rounds. I'm going to go with Cooper Kupp still here. Mike Williams looking at me. Cam Meredith. I hate this spot. We could go for some trade value and another quarterback, but I'm going to take Cooper Kupp here. I think Brandon Cook's signing there opens up space down the field, and I think that's where Cooper Kupp's going to be. And following me went Andrew Luck and Duke Johnson. Nick, quarterbacks are flying off.
Yeah. Damn.
Nick, you don't have one yet, Nick.
Nah, it's okay.
He doesn't need one. So
there's still some good value.
Right here, Naheem Hines is going to get the pass catching work with Garrett Blunt. I'm going to take Latavius. I already have Dalvin Cook on a handcuffing. Giovanni Bernard. This guy's never finished worse than the running back 45. He's guys points every year. And if anything happens to Mixon, he's going to be there. So Corey Clement followed me, then Jared Goff and Philip Rivers went. Wow, these guys love quarterback.
Real.
Elvin Benjamin, Dad, you're up again.
No.
There's still quarterbacks available. This is why I like waiting on quarterback. That's why I probably wouldn't have taken Kirk Cousins, even though Kirk Cousins. You got Alex Smith who can put up numbers. You got Dak Prescott who can put up numbers. Eli Manning, best weapons of his career. All the hype around Mr. Trubisky, suspension, and Jameis Winston. That doesn't really hurt. You can find someone to fill up for 3 games. A lot of options still available, even though I think over 15 quarterbacks are off the board. So, Dad.
I like Kittle right there, but I think I'm going to take a chance that will fall to me in the next round. I'm going to take Nelson Aguilar.
Okay. Calvin Ridley.
Why is that guy taking Big Ben when he has Aaron Rodgers?
Dude, these computers.
This computer is just so
Just to
disrespectful.
screw you.
Yeah.
Really want to trade with you, I think. All right, so Marquise Lee followed that.
Bro.
And he's sitting here.
That actually killed me, yeah, because I wanted Big Ben there so bad.
Mahomes, Mariota. I like Mariota. Wow,
I like Mariota. I can't take Mahomes as my QB1. If I'm going to take Mahomes, he's going to have to be paired with someone else because their first 9 games are brutal for a new quarterback. It's like Jacksonville, the Chargers, the Bengals, who were low key an amazing pass defense last year. It's like they don't get one easy game. I think it was the Niners are the only easy game in the first 9 weeks, and they just brought in Richard Sherman and should be a better defense. But I'm kind of pulling the reins back on the Mahomes breakout.
And Mariota even opens up with a tough, I think, 4 to 6 games. So hey, you got quarterbacks, and Alex Smith has an ezy first couple of games. So if you pair one of them with Alex Smith, he can maybe help you out for this first couple of weeks.
Yeah,
but
I'm gonna go. I feel like I should go with Mariota here, but I almost want to let him go. But I feel like this computer on the turn is going to end up taking him for no reason. So I'm gonna go with Mariota. Okay. No.
Foreman and Hines went.
Okay.
You're back up. You can go a double quarterback back to back.
Is Foreman still out?
Foreman's probably on pup list, but this computer does not know that, and we're not going to tell him that, so it's okay.
Yeah, keep that quiet from the computers. Okay, so let's see, man. I should probably start looking at running backs again because I went with 3 in the first 5, and then the last 5 rounds I haven't taken a single running back. So I'll hold off on quarterback because, actually I would look at Mahomes here, but I'll hold off because to me, from Derek Carr, the drop off to I actually like Case Keenum a lot this year. So the drop off from him to Keenum where I can get in 2 or 3 rounds is fine for me to wait on. I'm going to go with a guy named Latavius Murray.
There you go. That's a good pick. He's going to have value, like you said, probably at the goal line, and then if anything does happen to Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, I think he's the pure best handcuff in the NFL this year because he's the only one, I think, if off the top of my head, he's the only running back in the NFL that you could say for sure, guaranteed, if the starter goes down, Latavius is the fully featured 3-down back, without a doubt.
Yes. They didn't bring anyone in, I don't think, other than Murray's. I think you're right. One of the only guys who's going to get that volume. If anything happens. And Dad wanted Kittle to fall.
Yeah,
it didn't happen. So Chris Carson followed that. Sterling Shepard.
I'm screwed at tight end right now. So being I'm screwed, I'm just going to wait. I'm just going to wait.
A couple guys I like later, even later in this. I don't mind taking Ben Watson this year. Vance McDonald. I like Jared Cook. I like a lot this year. I also like Luke Wilson. So
Wilson. You listen to Roto Underworld?
Luke Will.
There's 2 wide receivers I'm looking at right here in the spot.
Podfather, shout out.
I'm so happy they have the 15-second skip on podcasts.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, I never hear him say Luke, but you guys skip it.
Yeah,
and he gets done with it right then.
It's unbelievable.
So in this spot right here, I'm looking at.
I like OJ Howard too as top 12 tight end this year. I don't think Brady is a factor this year. Jack Doyle's still here too. What do you mean you don't like tight ends? Jack Doyle's still here.
Yeah, but
it's a tight end. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
You got Cameron Meredith here, who's one of my sleepers.
All right, make your pick, buddy.
Rashard Matthews right there.
Mock draft.
I'm gonna take Meredith.
All right.
I'm going to wait on a tight end, see what I get the next time.
2 top 36 wide receivers. So getting this guy, I think, is past the wide receiver at 36. You can probably outproduce that. Mike Williams, Patrick Mahomes. People love quarterbacks in this league. Holy crap. Doug Martin, Martavis Bryant. I am up. I need running backs and guys I still want are on the board. You listened to our sleeper episode we had a while ago. Kyle Dvorak likes Austin Eckler, but he's going to make it back to me. So I'm going to take Kenneth Dixon. Everyone's been waiting for him to do something. I think this is the year he's healthy and maybe does something. Following me went LeGarrette Blount, Devontae Booker. I'm going to take Chris Ivory here. We had our guest Anthony Servino talk about him. The running back 2 in Buffalo gets touchdowns, even if McCoy's there. So we don't even know if McCoy's going to be there or not. So why not?
No, that's fake news.
Yeah, it's probably fake news. But
I don't know, man. I feel like Goodell's just going to be like,
he's
not going to let him play until this whole thing is completely settled in court.
Yeah. Well, Goodell rather suspend a guy for smoking marijuana than domestic abuse. I don't understand that.
But they gotta figure this whole NFL thing out.
There's a lot of stuff going on right now that we're not gonna get to that. We're a fantasy football podcast.
I'm taking Njoku here.
What?
Whatever. I don't even know how to say your name. David Njoku. How do you say it?
Njoku.
Njoku.
I got it. All these tight ends are flying off the board.
Guys are ready to take over.
I got to grab
All
him.
right, Derek Carr. I think got the great value late in Derek Carr. Like people are forgetting 2 seasons ago, this guy was in the MVP race with Tom Brady when he was healthy before breaking his leg.
That's facts. That's big facts. You're right.
That's why I'm high on the whole Raiders offense this year to bounce back. Like I was doing a dynasty super flex. I got Derek Carr's 21st quarterback off the board. Quarterback.
Wow.
That's not pretty, but I got Rivers as the quarterback 25. So I'm sticking with those 2, and I'm hoping to get someone later. Rashard Matthews, Kenny Galladay followed. You're back up, Nick. These are the last 2 picks. What are you looking to do here?
These are my last 2 picks. I don't know. Like, if this was really, really my team, I would probably have to draft another tight end because I went Gronk, and obviously he has the health concerns. And I would probably – I don't know if I'd grab another quarterback behind Mariota. I probably would just because, like you said, his early season schedule is pretty tough. But there are some running backs I still like on the board. I like Jordan Wilkins because I think there's a wide open competition in there in Indy for that early down running back spot. And I know a lot of people like Marlon Mack, but I mean, listen, it's a whole new regime. It's a whole new offense. He's missed the entire offseason so far, recovering from I think it's the shoulder injury, right? So listen, it's a fair competition. It's not like Mack is guaranteed a spot because I think he was picked in. He was a 4th round pick last year, right? And so was Jordan Wilkins, in 4th or 5th round. So the only head up he has is the fact that he played last year, but it's not like he was super efficient by any means. So Wilkins has just as good as a chance as Mack does, considering he's not going to be there for this training camp. So I like Wilkins here. But you know what? I'll play it real, and I'm going to go with O.J. Howard as a backup for Gronk.
You probably get Wilkins on the turn right here, too.
Yeah, I'll grab him, and I'll stick with Mariota.
Another thing, I watched some film on Jordan Wilkins.
You like him?
Because we had a rookie draft the other night. We got him in the 5th round or 4th round, something like that. I don't know how he fell that far.
He could get that starting job there. He could.
No, he's going to.
That's crazy.
Full prediction. He's going to. Marlon Mack, according to Pro Football Focus, was the worst efficient running back in the NFL last year. I'm trying to find the numbers right now.
It was pretty much. It was. I saw a tweet today. It was basically like. He had like 8 runs that went for 15 yards or more, which was like really highly ranked, but he also had like 30 runs that were stopped at the line of scrimmage or behind, which was dead last in the NFL. So he's like that boomer bust. He's that boomer bust running back, and people don't believe he could be the in-between tackles runner. And it makes sense because that was exactly the type of runner he was in college too. So
yeah, and Marlon Mack's pass protection is also awful.
Yep.
So that's not concerning. I'll get the stat, but when this picture loads. When it loads, we'll get it. So, yeah, you got Wilkins on the turn. Michael Gallup, my dad's guy, went. Tyler Lockett, a guy like late, and Matt Breida went too. Dang it.
That's shocking that Wilkins went that late in your draft. Like, I feel like, I guess maybe because you, like us 3 are in fantasy football, right now. We've just done so much research up to this point that Wilkins going that late is crazy. But if you're like a new person into fantasy football right now, having your rookie draft, maybe you're not so familiar with these guys.
Right. It was we just took over an orphan team. My dad and I have a team together in this dynasty league, and these guys have been doing it for a while. And they all seem to know their stuff, but I was like, wow, this guy's available in the 4th round.
That's shocking, yeah.
I traded it for the 105 in that rookie draft in the 108, and we got Chubb at 105. So I like Chubb a lot. And then somehow Rashad Penny fell to the 108.
Wow.
I don't even like Rashad Penny that much.
We had to take him there. We really wanted Johnson there, but we had to take him. We had to take him there. How did he fall to number 8?
I would almost have said, yeah. Like I would have almost said you had to take him at 105. To be honest, that's crazy.
Case Keenum, your dad took. Then Ricky Seals-Jones, Austin Sperry, and Jenkins, ASJ, RSJ, they're gone. Bilal Powell, Tyra Williams, and one of the last picks in the draft. I'll give the viewers and listeners a deep, deep shot. I would not take this guy if that's many bench spots, but I'm gonna scroll way down for a guy who I think is going to have value. Let's look. We're down.
Wide receiver or running back?
Yeah, I'll go wide receiver upside. I'm scrolling way down. So way down, I'm looking at guys like Chester Rogers in Indianapolis. Someone's got to be at number 2 in Indianapolis in the high-profile offense. I'm going to go up a little bit.
It's Deion Kane, man. Deion Kane.
I think Rogers gets it. Well, they got to start 3 of them. And Reese Fountain has a lot of hype, too. Where's this guy? Everyone's forgetting about him. Really bad year last year. Terrell Pryor. Now, you're thinking, why Terrell Pryor? So this guy, apparently, news came out as every professional player. He was injured after week 2 last year, but since he's nearing the end of his career and he wants to make a living off of it, he played through the games and he was awful. So now he goes to the Jets as the wide receiver 3 or 4, whatever. And I think they're going to redshirt Sam Darnold. And the pod I was talking about this today of how, like, I forget who guest they had on, said some random stat about when Josh McCown was quarterback with Terrell Pryor, it's like 200 and something yards. And every single game that Josh McCown's played with Terrell Pryor, he's targeted Terrell Pryor at least 10 times in a game. So that's volume. And I feel like if he gets playing time, it's possible to.
Well, for a last pick, too, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
To get him as your last pick, take a chance.
So
Absolutely.
what's the little roster review? Nick, tell us who you have.
All right, so we have Zeke, first round, McKinnon, Gronk, Juju, Lamar Miller, Corey Davis, Emmanuel Sanders, Cobb, Devonta Parker, Marcus Mariota, Latavius Murray, O.J. Howard, Jordan Wilkins.
I like that. Who do you have, real quick? Antonio Brown, A.J. Green, Darius Geis, Demaryius Thomas, Royce Freeman, Sammy Watkins, Rex Burkhead, C.J. Anderson, Matthew Stafford. That's a great value all the way up to there. Nelson Aguilar, Cameron Meredith, David Njoku, and Case Keenum. That's not a bad draft.
I like my team. The only thing I don't like is I got one tight end, and I'm not happy with it. So I failed in a tight end spot there. But other than that, I think it's a pretty good team.
Yeah, I took Dalvin Cook, Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs, Amari Cooper, Evan Ingram, Ronald Jones, Kirk Cousins. Probably took a running back right there, but there wasn't that many available. And then Jamison Crowder, Cooper Kupp, Giovanni Bernard, Kenneth Dixon, Chris Ivory, and then Terrell Pryor. So, yeah, that's that. Wow. That sounds like the mock draft. How did that go, Nick, for your first time using SleeperBot?
So I've used SleeperBot before. I was in a league in it last year, and it's pretty cool. It's crazy with the colors and everything. But this is the first time I did a live mock draft like this. So this was actually a lot of fun, and I appreciate you guys having me on here to do this with you. Yeah,
we really enjoyed having him on.
Maybe we'll have you on again later on. We'll have some more people.
Yeah, we could. You can whoever's listening to this podcast, in the description below, click on the link. You guys can see the full draft board and how it played out. And yeah, you guys know where to check Nick out on YouTube. Just type in Nick space BDGE. You're gonna find him. He's getting there. And is this episode going up on the YouTube?
Yes, definitely will be.
It's going up on the YouTube.
Oh, it's going on the tubes. It's either going to be up Thursday or Friday of next week. So one of those 2 days.
All right. Nice. This one will probably go up. We're not going to post tomorrow. Usually we post on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. This one will be up
Tuesday.
And we're going to post it tomorrow. We'll post this one Wednesday. So I could wait till Thursday to post it and repost yours. Okay. Yeah, I'll just do that. We'll meet up now. I'll post it the same day. So So there's that. That's going to sum up for this podcast episode with Nick.
Thank you to our guest, Nick. Thank you for being on the show.
Yeah, man, my pleasure. It's a good time hanging with you guys. To be honest, when I first heard you guys reach out, or when I saw the name Father Son, the first thing that came to my mind was that it was like a father and maybe like a little kid, like a child. And I was like, wow,
he's not little. He's 6'6".
No, it's probably bigger and possibly older than me. So it's not how it worked out. But I'm happy to be on, man. I would love to come back on.
All right, awesome. Thank you.
So is my face going to be on the YouTubes or just the draft?
Yeah, I think in the beginning when we were setting everything up, we'll probably be on there, and you're actually on it right now. I'll make sure they see your pretty face.
All right. So if you guys want to see my face for the first time ever in a podcast episode and what it looks like, go check out the YouTube channel, Nick BDG. It's going to be up on there, and subscribe to him if you haven't already. Most people who are subscribed to us are 53. They probably already subscribed to you. This guy's got a lot. So
nice.
We really had fun doing this mock draft, and we'll definitely have Nick on again in probably late August before the season starts. Why not?
Sounds good.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, because we always like to throw mock drafts in the middle of our stuff, so that'll be awesome.
Yeah. All right. We're back recording again. You're just gonna we'll introduce you again, and then we'll do the player you don't want to miss out on drafts, and then the draft day tip.
Okay.
And then you can plug all your stuff. I love the Big Dog's Gotta Eat. I saw that and I was like, I didn't remember having that. That's new this year, right?
What's up?
The BDGE brand.
No, I've had that around. I've always kept the brand as my name because I don't want to kind of keep it just to fantasy football, because usually I'll do a lot of vlogs and stuff, and because professionally I do social media marketing.
Okay.
So I kind of like to have that as part of the whole brand as my name and stuff, because I actually work with the company. If you've watched my videos, you probably see me plug Fantasy Jocks. They make the championship belts and rings and stuff.
Yeah, the draft boards and stuff. I had the draft board last year.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, so I do. I started blogging for them 4 or 5 years ago, before I even started doing any fantasy stuff. They were my first people I blogged for, and then I left my job doing social media marketing, and I went off on my own and I was like, I'm going to freelance and do this by myself. And the CEO of that company was like, Nick, I saw your vlog. Like, we need someone to take over our Facebook and Instagram marketing for us. So I was like, yeah, of course. So I've been running their marketing for them. And then I started blogging for them, or I was blogging for them first, did that. And then I started blogging for myself. And it's crazy how it all worked out because now they sponsor my videos, but I also do the marketing for their company and everything's kind of intertwined. Great. So yes, the BDGE has been around, but I like to keep it as my name just so,
So you're busy. You're busy.
Extremely, yes.
Yeah. And then how old are you? 24, 25?
25. I'll be 26 in August 25th.
Yeah. See, I'm only 20. So there we go.
Oh, there you go. You got all the time in the world.
Yeah, busy right now. I got a job, and then I got summer class. I'm taking for college right now, so that's fun.
Okay.
5 hours a night, 3 days a week.
Yes.
Yeah, he came at me like 2 months ago with this idea. I go, no, I'm not doing that. I said, I don't get into fantasy football till August. Why would I want to? Well, come on, Dad. I got everything figured out already. It'd be time. I'm at college. It'd be time for me and you to spend time together. Boom, hook, line, and sinker. Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, aren't you happy you did it though?
Yeah, oh yeah, we're having a blast.
Yeah, I think you guys should keep pushing on YouTube, man, because everyone in their, or in your case, everyone and their father is on podcasting, and everyone does the blogging thing already. It's impossible to break out that way. You got to look at the new marketing channels and see where there is opportunity. And it's a lot of the OGs in the industry, you know, the Evan Silvas and those guys don't want to do anything with Instagram, anything with YouTube, because it's new to them. You know what I mean? But that's where the attention is. That's where the eyeballs are, and you got to follow those if you want to break through. So.
Now, we used to do the iTunes and then put the same episode on YouTube. Well, we changed it up. We make them do a 5-minute on YouTube and make them go to our podcast. You think that's a good idea to do that?
Less like watch time.
So that's exactly.
So then they try to look at both of them?
Yeah, so that's exactly what I do, except I take my YouTube, I just download that file as an MP3, and then I upload that into iTunes. I use a great site called Buzzsprout. Literally, it automatically syncs to iTunes, Spotify, Google, all these things. You literally just put the MP3 file in, and boom, you're on iTunes and everything. So I take the exact same content, I recycle it through there. I think the more content you could put out in the more places, the better.
How much is that a month?
It depends how much time, but I think I'm paying $18 a month for them to host the podcasting and everything. And that will house, I think, 6 or 7 hours of podcasting. And then it's like, if you need 3 or 4 extra hours, then it's like $3 more a month or something. So it's not crazy. Yeah. Nothing bad.
No, we do Podbean, so like the same thing. You upload it to Spotify, Google Play, iTunes, whatever you want to do, and you fill out your RSS feed. Okay. And that's only $9 a month.
Okay.
It's unlimited space too. But it's like same.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I should look at that.
I just did that. Yeah, but I know Google Podcast has a new app out. Like the Google Podcast is at a Google Play Music now, so I got to look into that and how to get it up there.
Interesting. Yeah, I like the iTunes interface only because like they have. I haven't looked at the Google, but I know like iTunes obviously has like the stars and the ratings and the reviews, and that's how you move up in the rankings. Yeah. But right. I'm not really sure how it works in Google.
Yeah, I don't know. It just came out like this month, so yeah. I don't know.
I'm so coming from a marketing perspective. I'm like exponentially more interested in the business and marketing side of the fantasy football industry because there's so much growth there to be had, you know, and like it just, I don't know, it's so intriguing to me. Yeah. And I'm like so much more, I mean, I like obviously breaking down players and the analysis and stuff, but I'm really interested in the marketing side of things for this.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. Like you're right, YouTube I think is the next place to go big. I just got to figure out how to get the webcam like episodes. I don't know, I gotta set something up or something because people will watch like the videos with cameras more than just a blank screen.
Yeah, that's the thing too, because like I don't have a microphone. I don't have a microphone because I have my camera. This is the camera I use, and it has like a little attached microphone, but this thing is probably nothing good compared to the one you use. So that's the only audio I have, and that's how it comes through on the podcast. It doesn't sound as good, but it's kind of annoying if you set it up between like a camera and a mic because you have to sync the audio and the editing software, and it kind of gets annoying. But
I don't know. That's why. Yeah, this is only like $80 or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get this YouTube episode on. I gotta go babysit. I'm already late. Oh well. All right. What's going on, everybody? We just got done recording an episode. Mock draft with the one and only Nick BDG. What's going on, Nick? He's here with us right now.
What's up, Nick?
What's going on, fellas? Man, that was a fun episode. I'm glad to be back 2 seconds later after filming that in the studio.
Nice.
Let's do it.
Nice. We're glad to have you back this early.
Yeah. So in the description below. Click on whatever device you have to go check out the iTunes, Google Play, or podcast episode. Subscribe and download if you haven't already. We're going to link Nick's podcast down there too, and then we'll also link his YouTube channel in the description below where he actually filmed the episode or screen recorded it. So if you guys want to see what I look like, our logo kind of shows it, but yeah, I'm there. So go check that out and subscribe to him if you haven't already. And let's get this bonus episode underway. So, Nick, what is the one guy you want to own in drafts this year?
Can I give you two? Like one,
yeah, give me two.
One
let's
upside, one
bonus.
floor.
You can give us two. Let's get a bonus for our listeners.
Bonus
right.
episode.
The first guy is the one I'm kind of pissed that I missed on the draft, and I let you take him. But that's Stephon Diggs. I'm fully of the belief that this is I had never been one of those guys. Like I'm not one of those guys that had been on him calling a breakout 2 years ago and then calling a breakout last year and saying it again this year. But this is the first year I'm on him. And I'm fully of the belief that like he is going to take over that wide receiver one role. Him and Kirk are going to work in unison perfectly. On a points per game basis, he is the guy there. He is the number one wide receiver in the NFL when it comes to contested catch rate. And that leads to him catching every ball thrown his way in the end zone. This is the year that he takes over that wide receiver one role in Minnesota. He was underthrown by Case Keenum on like 7 deep balls, like 60-yard deep balls that would have been touchdowns last year. His numbers would have been through the roof. The only concern there, of course, is health, but I really don't try to avoid or take players based on their health. And if he can get healthy, man, he is going to be a top 8, top 6 guy that you're not going to want to miss out on. You can get in the 3rd round.
And 110%. That is amazing. I love that. All right. And who is the other player?
Okay, so my other guy is a boring pick, but it's Delanie Walker. And Delanie Walker's a guy I love at tight end because as we did the mock draft, I regretted taking Gronk in the 3rd, and it's because you can get Delanie Walker in the 7th. When I see Delanie Walker, people are going to be down on him this year because he finished with 3 touchdowns. But that was still, when you look at the team, he still had 20% of their touchdown passes, right? So that's the same rate he's had over the years. The only reason that people are looking at him down now is because Mariota's touchdown rate came down. But if you expect Mariota's to bounce back up to the norm with Matt LaFleur there as the OC, which a lot of people expect, if he sticks at the same rate that he's been at, that 20% touchdown rate, that's going to bounce back up to 6 or 7. He's a guy who's had 800 receiving yards in 4 straight years. He's been a top 7 fantasy wide receiver in 4 straight years. When you look at the per game numbers, he has better numbers than Zach Ertz. The only reason people are so high on Zach Ertz is because he had 8 touchdowns. But if you rely on receiving type players in fantasy football, that is the most volatile stat you can think of. And that's why you get guys like Mike Evans drafted too high, because you see a touchdown total, but they're not ones who gives you yards, and they're not ones that you can depend on year over year. That's why I love Delanie Walker, because he is Zach Ertz that is coming off of a recency bias down year. So get away from the early tight ends and grab Delanie Walker 7th or 8th, and you will not be 7th or 8th round, and you won't be disappointed.
That is
2 great picks right there.
There's 2 great picks. I couldn't.
Diggs, who's going to benefit with Cousins there, and Delanie Walker, who's a consistent tight end.
And
that's 2 great picks.
Positive regressions coming. Mike Mularkey hurt the whole offense, and we've seen Delanie Walker do progressively worse the last 3 years. I think it was 2015, 2016, 2017. But it's all because of the touchdown. This is a new offense now, and he's coming back. And like you said, 7th, 8th round. That's why I'm waiting on tight end and not taking the Gronkowskis of the world this year. So
good picks, Nick.
Yeah.
Thank you, sirs.
So where can people find you if they don't know already? Let's give them the plug another time. Shameless plug.
Yeah, so just check me out on YouTube. It's just my name. It's Nick Ercolano. You can spell that ERCOLANO. I should have let you guys try to spell it out yourselves, because I've heard some funny tries over the years with teachers growing up and whatnot. But yeah, YouTube, Nick Ercolano. You can find me there, and then from there you can find my social medias in the descriptions and whatnot.
Yep. So we need a one draft day tip before we go. One draft day tip, simple draft day tip.
Oh man, one draft day tip. I would say, yeah.
For people of any level, like beginning fantasy football,
don't drink too much tequila.
You know what? We'll take that.
Listen, I thought Calvin Johnson was off the board one year, and I took Maurice Jones-Drew because of it, and it was the year Calvin Johnson blew up for like 2,000 plus yards, or whatever he went off of, and I blame the tequila to this day.
Wow, I mean that is also another great tip. Yeah. Doesn't have to be tequila, just anything.
Yeah, that's my choice.
That's a good quick tip right there.
Awesome. All right. So thank you for coming on for
Yes,
the bonus
thank you,
YouTube
Nick.
video and then the podcast episode. We really enjoyed having him on. And once again, go check that out on his channel for the live video, I guess, and then download the podcast if you haven't already. It helps us out a lot.
We'll have you on again for another mock draft.
Yeah, why not?
Absolutely. Looking forward to it,
That was
fellas.
fun.
All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
So that wraps up the mock draft. I liked my team, but as I said throughout the video a few times, I kind of wish I didn't go with Gronk in the third round. As much as I like him as a value in a vacuum in that spot, I don't like how my team ends up. I would have rather gotten a Stephon Diggs or a T.Y. Hilton if we knew he was healthy, so that he would have been my wide receiver 1, and then Juju would have fell back to wide receiver 2, and then you have the choice of Davis, Emmanuel Sanders, Randall Cobb as your 3, and I still could have got Delaney Walker in like the 7th or 8th round or whatever. So my team probably would have been a lot more well-rounded and a lot more surefire powered that way. But it is a mock draft. It is what it is. I think mostly when you see these mock drafts, the point is to take away the analysis and things. So if you enjoyed the video, of course, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Make sure you go follow Father and Son Fantasy Football. I will link all their personal Twitters, their fantasy Twitter, their podcasts, and their YouTube channel and stuff down below. So highly suggest you go follow them. They're good people again, and they will be on their way up in the industry. I can promise you that as long as they keep working hard. So I'll see you all on the next episode. Peace.